Hello, and thanks for joining us here on Sunnyside Farm. We're going to make some elderberry syrup today, and I'll tell you that our homemade elderberry syrup is the best thing that I have found when I start to get cold symptoms. If I take a tablespoon in the morning and a tablespoon at night, it seems to shut that cold right down. I don't get the symptoms as bad, and it doesn't last as long. So we're going to show you what we do to prepare our homemade elderberry syrup.
Yeah, we finished up what we made last year. I think you finished up
the last. I finished that just recently.
So we ran out. So we're going to get ready to make another batch, and hopefully that will last us through the winter. When I pick the elderberries in the summertime, I don't always, I'm not going to use them right away. So I just throw them in a zip top bag and I put them in the freezer, and then they're ready for me whenever I'm ready to make the syrup.
Yeah, we've got all our stuff out here. We're going to actually cook the elderberries down on the stove first. You need to cook elderberries because otherwise they do have some toxic components to them that will cook out when you process them. But we're going to cook the elderberry syrup first. We're going to can that in a water bath canner so it preserves it, gives it a long shelf life. That way you can use it whenever you need it.
All right, the first thing we need to do is get our elderberries in the freezer, and this is what I picked last September in one day, and we'll measure out 2 cups of the elderberries. Oops. All right, so you're going to take your elderberries and put them in your pot, and next I have 4 cups of water, and we're just going to add that.
So you do 2 cups of elderberries to 4 cups of water.
Correct. And turn that on high, and you want to bring that up to a simmer.
You can see that there is some junk in there, some of the stems and things from when we were harvesting these elderberries. Don't have to worry about that because this is all going to get strained out once it's done processing.
We need 2 cups of honey when we get to that point, so I'm going to measure it out now while that's cooking. And last time we made the elderberry syrup, we had our own honey. This year we didn't harvest any honey. We just didn't get any. So we bought some from a farm we were visiting in New Jersey. It's best to use local honey, but this is what we had.
So that was 2 cups of elderberries and 2 cups of honey. So we're really using equal parts of elderberries and honey.
Okay, so it's been 15 minutes that it's been simmering. And what we're going to do next is strain out the elderberries that are in the pot, and then we're going to let that cool down. While we're waiting for that to cool down, this is my water bath canner. I'm going to just take some of the jars, or all the jars, and I've washed these. These are new jars I got today. And we're going to put them in the water here. I'm going to turn that on, and while that's heating up, it'll heat the jars up to the temperature that we need them to be in order to can them. I'm also going to throw my lids and my rings in there, and they'll be hot when it's time to fill the jars.
So we're going to let this cool down to 110 degrees while our jars are warming up in the water bath canner. And once this cools down, we're going to put it back on the stove and add our honey. So we've cooled down just past that 110.
Now we add the honey into our elderberry syrup. Spatula. All right, then we're going to add, we've got some lemon juice, and we need about 1/4 cup of the lemon juice. I'll add that in. And mix it up as best we can. And we're going to put it right back onto the heat and let it come back up to a simmer before we put it in the jars to can it. The elderberry syrup is just about to come to a simmer, so I'm going to pull these jars out of my canner. That way they'll be nice and hot when we put the hot elderberry syrup in them. We don't want them to crack. If they were cold, they would crack. And I usually use a thick towel and I double it so that hitting the cold counter, that could crack them too. You don't want to do that. Okay. And this looks like it's just about at a simmer, so I think we're gonna turn the heat off and start filling our jars. Stirring out all the bubbles that might be in the jars. And then I've got a damp rag. I'm going to go around the edges of the jars to get any drips of syrup that might have gotten there that could keep them from sealing. I'm going to take my hot lids out of and just put them down finger tight. All right, so now we're gonna pull these jars out and let them cool down, and as they cool down, they'll seal. And this is the way that we've made our elderberry syrup the last few years. It's worked great for us. If you don't have a canner or you're not comfortable canning, you can also freeze the elderberry syrup. That would be a great way to preserve it. Or if you're just going to make a little bit and you're going to use it within a couple weeks, you can just put it in the refrigerator. It should be fine. We made a little bit extra and we threw that in the fridge today.
So that's how we make elderberry syrup. Like I said, it can't come too soon because we've run out of our supply and it's that time of year. So we can start using that elderberry syrup anytime we feel sick, or if you can just take a tablespoon of it a day.
It's kind of preventative.
Yeah.
Will help you out.
Yeah, but it tastes really good. It's got a nice sweet taste to it. And like I said, it's helped me, I think, immensely anytime I felt like I had a cold coming on.
Yeah.
So we thank you for joining us today. We hope you can make some elderberry syrup of your own. If you have a recipe that you do for elderberry syrup that might be different, leave us a comment. We'd love to hear about it. Also, if you enjoyed today's video, please hit that like button. It does help us get more views, and we certainly would appreciate it. If you haven't subscribed to our channel already, please hit that subscribe button. We would really appreciate it. And once again, we thank you for joining us, and we hope all your days are sunny side up.